Hey everybody, welcome! My name is Kurt, aka the Vitruvian Gamer, and today, for the first time ever on this channel, I am doing a preview. Now, mind you, I am doing this completely for free. I'm not being paid by the publisher or the designer. I met them at Paros, Greece on my last vacation. They asked me if I wanted to do a video for them, and well, I love games, I love new things, so I said yes, and I'm happy to do so. So, what game am I talking about? Well, the game I'm talking about is Microfilms. Now, maybe the cover tells you already that this game is derived from a previous game, and that game was Redacted, a release I think from last year at Essen by the same designer and publisher. That was a board game, so complete with board, pieces, cards. Now, this game is a micro game. Only 25 cards, a few chips to be the money in the game, and well, it's a deduction game. It has a little bit of player elimination, not that much. If you screw up, you're out of the game, but a few minutes later you can start the next game if you want, and I think you might want to do that because it is really fun. Now, in this game, in this Microfilms, you are playing these agents or freelancers who are invited to Monte Carlo to a special game of cards. Why is it special? Well, the cards, some of those cards have microfilms in them, and well, there are some alliance letters hidden inside the deck as well. Now, the organizer, the ambassador, has teamed up two of the three agents in the game together to join forces to find the third microfilm in the game, but in the beginning of the game both agents have no idea that they are allied with one of the agents, and so especially not who they are allied with. The other agent, the third one, he doesn't know he's not allied with anyone, so he will find that out during the game and tries to find one of the both other microfilms. The other players, the freelancers, they each have their own special way to win the game, but well, maybe it will be easier to see when I show you the cards, when I show you the game. So let's go to the table and see what Microfilms is all about. So before I begin, let me remind you that this is a prototype. It's a print and play which I made with my bad printer. The artwork is final, I think, but of course the quality of the cards will be a lot better when the game is released. Also, these poker chips, those are mine. I just took them out of a poker set. The game will come with its own money tokens, so but I'm using these for now. So let me show you which cards are in the game. There are 25 cards, not much, but then again, Microfilms is a micro game. But you will see it has some more depth than some famous or well-known micro games that are already out there. So let us see which cards are in the game. The first thing you do is you separate the agents from all the cards. There are 4 agents in this game. 4 nationalities. You have UK, USSR, China and USA. Each game you will be playing with 3 of these, meaning there will be one that's not in the game. Each of these agents have the same goal in the game, and that's stated on the bottom of the cards. So an agent has to be cleared and has to reveal a microfilm of the opposing agent or the opposing agents. If doing so, they will win. So, what do we do in the beginning of the game? We just pick 3 of the 4 agents to play with, so we have to remove 1 out of the game. And then we have to locate the microfilms of these 3 agents that we are playing with. And there they are. So there are 4 microfilms in the game as well, 1 for each nationality of the agents. And as you can see, we have the American, the Chinese and the Russian one. We also have the UK microfilm. We are not playing with the UK agent, so we remove the microfilm from the game. Okay, so next step, well, we need to find out who will be allied to who. So we need some alliance letters. And yes, there are 4 alliance letters as well. Again, 1 from each of the nationalities. So, first things first, we are not playing with the UK agent, so, well, this can go away as well. Leaves us with the other 3 alliance letters, but we will only need 2 of these. Why is that? Well, 2 of the 3 agents will be allied to each other, and 1 will be a loner. Meaning, well, that the loner agent will have to find 1 of the other 2 microfilms, and, well, the allied players or the allied agents can kind of work together and try to find the loner agent his microfilm. Of course, at the beginning of the game, you have no idea whether you are allied with someone, and especially not who you are allied with. So, we only need 2 of these letters. That means we just take these 3 alliance letters, we shuffle them, and we take 1 and remove it from the game without looking at this, and that means we only have 2 alliance letters in the game, and we will not look at both of these before the game starts. We have to find out during the game itself. Now, I will show you just for the explanation. For this example, we have the Russian and the Chinese alliance letter, meaning that these 2 guys are allied in this game, and the USA agent, well, she is all alone. That means those 2 agents will be looking for this microfilm, while she will be looking for 1 of these. But of course, they don't know that they are allied and who they are allied with at the beginning of the game. So, we did not see this, we just put this aside, and we put the 3 microfilms aside now as well, for they will be shuffled into the game deck as well. Now, let's see what happens when we play with more than 3 players. So, for a game with more than 3 players, we need more than 3 roles, so we won't have enough with 3 agent cards, but we need some more roles, and that's where these 4 freelancers come into the game. Each of these has their own victory condition, and, well, let's see what those are. First of all, the hitman, she has to be cleared and name the opponent who has the ace of spades in hand to win. Well, the ace of spades is one of the action cards. I will talk about this one a little bit later. Then we have the journalist, who has to be cleared, reveal a microfilm, and then name the agent who holds the identity matching it to win. When doing so, he will just look at the identity of the player he thinks has the matching identity. If he's right, he wins the game. If he's wrong, he gives back the identity card and he is eliminated from the game. The information broker has to be cleared, and during the second evening or later, which means when the deck has been reshuffled at least once, he has to name the locations of both alliance letters to win. If he's wrong about those locations, he is eliminated from the game. And last but not least, there's the Interpol officer, who has to be cleared, and during the second evening or later, again, that means the draw deck has to be reshuffled at least once during the game. Then she names a suspect player who is holding a bloodstained action card to be arrested. Well, a bloodstained action card, I will show the action cards in a bit, but some of them have this bloodstain on the right bottom corner. If he points out a player who has a bloodstained card in hand, she wins the game. If she guesses wrong, well, she is out of the game. So, let's say we are playing a 5-player game. We have 3 agents, as we always do, but we need 2 more roles. That's very simple. We take the 4 freelancers, we give them a good shuffle, we take 2 of them, remove the other 2 from game, and then we shuffle the 3 agents together with these 2 freelancers, and then each player will get 1 of these roles, and they get also this suspect cleared card, well, which is used to show other players and himself whether they are suspect or whether they are cleared, and each thing comes with its own hand limit. So if you're suspect during the game and you start as suspect, then you have a hand size limit of 1 card. If you get cleared later in the game, you will be able to hold 2 cards in your hand at the end of your turn. Also, the cards have this pretty handy dandy reference sheet which tells you what actions you can take during your turn. Okay, I will talk about those actions in a bit. But so each player will get one of these and put it on the suspect side. So if I would be this player, I would have this card in front of me and I could see that I am the Interpol officer trying to play until at least the second evening and then find a suspect player holding a bloodstained action card. Okay, so each player gets these cards and then let's see what action cards there are. And here they are, 4 action cards, each, well, 3 of those who has 2 choices of an action you can choose, and then the special Ace of Spades. Well, there are steal blackmail cards in this game, and then you can choose between steal or blackmail. You have interrogate blackmail cards, and you can choose again between those 2 options, and you have a cash out and blowback card, and then you have the Ace of Spades. Now let me tell you about this Ace of Spades. When you have this card in your hand and you want to discard this, sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't, but most of the times you might want to get rid of this card. Well, but this is the calling card of the hitman and it's not that easy to get rid of it. You will have to pay 2 francs to the house and to be allowed to discard this one. Yes, very special card, really gives an extra thing to this game. Okay, so you just take all of the action cards, put them all together, and then we add the microfilms and alliance cards that we chose or randomly chose during the setup, and we shuffle this all together, and then this will be our draw deck that will be in the middle of the board or of the game table. Okay, so now it's time to start the game. So now we can see what actions a player can take. Now, one more thing, when playing with 5 players, for example, the 4th and the 5th player will already get 1 francs of the bank just to balance things out. Because otherwise they might be in a disadvantage. Okay, so let's see what things you can do in a turn. So this is how the table might look like with a 5-player game. So we know that we are the Interpol officer and we are all suspect. Now let's tell me I'm the first player in a 5-player game. That means that player 4 and player 5 would have 1 francs already, and then each player will get 1 card in their hand. So that would be the setup of the game, and then we will be ready to play a game. Now, let's see which actions we can take, and for that we can use this handy dandy reference sheet on the suspect cleared cards. Okay, so the first action you can do is just draw a card from whether the draw deck or the discard pile. So this is the draw deck, we have a discard pile. We can choose as an action to take the top card of this deck and put it in our hand, or take the top card of the discard pile. So we can choose one of those and we put it in our hand. Now, if our turn is over and we have more cards in our hand than our hand limit, which is 1 at this moment, we would have to discard one of the cards, well, or more, into the discard pile. So we only have our hand limit left in our hand. The second action we can do is just pass, and when passing you just can take 1 of the francs from the house and put it in front of us. It's ours now. The next action you can do is bribe. For bribing a player you just pick one of the cards in your hand and you offer the card to one of your opponents. So I would offer him this card, and now he has two options. He can decline the offer. That means I will keep hold of this card, but for that he has to pay me one of his francs. Or he can accept the card, take it in his hand, and that means I was a good guy, I gave more information to someone, and for that I get rewarded and my status is now cleared. Next action in line is steal, and you can see there is this card symbol in front of the action right over there, meaning you can only steal by playing the right card for it. And as you can see, this is the steal card, and when stealing, as the card says, you take 2 francs from an opponent. So when taking 2 francs from an opponent, you just take his money and put it in front of you. That's cool. Another action that needs a card to activate is cash out. And when playing a cash out card like this, you gain 3 francs. You just play the card, discard it in the discard pile, and we take 3 francs from the bank or from the house and put it in our stack. Now, to interrogate the player, you can choose between 2 options. You can play a card to activate it, or you can pay 1 francs to the bank. So we could pay 1 to the bank, or we could play the right card, an interrogate card, and then we can choose one of the players. We can choose whoever we want to, and that player, well, shuffles his roll card and his card or cards in his hand, shuffles them, gives them to me. I can choose one of the cards given to me. I can look at one of those cards so I know what he's holding or what role he has, and then I shuffle the cards back and give them back to the opponent. Now, if an opponent only has 1 card, meaning only his roll card and no cards in hand, well, it's easy, he does not have to shuffle. He gives me his roll card. I can see that he is the USSR agent, and I give it back to him. So that might be a good way to find out player's role when their hand is empty. Okay, last but not least, there is blackmail. And blackmail you can also do by playing the right card or by playing 2 francs. Now, this is not really clear on this printed paper, but these dark coins, they mean 2 francs. So I could either pay 2 francs to the bank, or I can play a blackmail card. And when blackmailing a player, you choose a target, you choose a target player, and that player has a couple of choices. Let me see, if I choose this guy here, well, he can choose to pay me 2 francs, and then I will not blackmail him. He has paid me off, so I will not put out the secrets that I know of him. The other thing he can do is play a blowback card. As you can see, blowback, and blowback means you can discard the blowback card to prevent blackmail. So he could play a card like this, and then I'm not able to blackmail him. If he doesn't do any of those 2, he can choose not to, or he can, well, maybe not play a card like that, or he's out of money. I get to randomly draw a card from his hand. Now this player only has 1 card, so I can take this away from him. And look, now I found out that the Chinese player, sorry, is allied with someone. So that agent is not alone in this game. So this might be valuable information. When blackmailing someone with success, you also get cleared. And to be remembered, I could hold 2 cards when I'm cleared, and when cleared you can also try to win the game, because each character says that you have to be cleared to try to win the game. And that's the last action you can choose of. You can, as an action, attempt to win. And that means you just do whatever your guy or girl says. So if it would be the second evening, so we would have gone through all this deck and it has been reshuffled at least once. then I would be allowed to try name a suspect who is holding a bloodstained card, and well, if I'm right, I would win. So let's just take a gamble. I know he did not have a bloodstained card, I saw his card, but let's say well, I'm not sure, someone has, well, if I choose this player, I say you are suspect and you have a bloodstained card. Here I look at it secretly. If I'm right, then I reveal my role. I reveal that card and I win. So of course, that is Microfilms, and as you can see, it is a micro game, but it has really some meat to it. It is a gamer's game. It can be played, I think, with newer gamers. It's not the easiest one to explain, but as soon as they grasp how the thing plays, it plays really fast and really easy. First of all, this is a deduction game, and that's a kind of game I normally don't like playing. I'm really not good at them. I get kind of easily bored by it, but this one plays really fast and has really interesting mechanics, interesting choices to do. The roles are interesting, the different roles and their different ways of winning the game. And well, I really like this game, which was a big surprise for me. So if you like deduction, or if you like fast-paced micro games in the style of Love Letter, but with much more into it than Love Letter, then well, this game might be something for you. I really recommend you trying this out. If you go to Essen, where it should be released, well, I advise you to pass the LudiCreations booth and well, maybe meet David, the designer himself, and well, they will explain you the game maybe even better than I did. But I hope my explanation was good enough and you have an idea of how this game works now. So I thank you all for watching this preview, the first one on my channel. I hope to do more of these in the future, and well, I hope that you will be watching those in the future. So I'll see you there, and thank you. Meet me on Twitter if you want. I'm there and at Vitruvian Gamer. I'm quite active there, so if you want to talk to me, just go to there or put some comments below here on the YouTube channel. Thanks all for watching, and I see you all in the future. Bye bye.